Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by a familiar face, Francine Brokaw, who hosts her infamous Beyond the Red Carpet. Well, Francine, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is fun to be on your show for a change.
Well, we don't always get to be interviewed, right? So I thought this would be a really fun thing to do. And, it's nice to be able to talk about the other shows that are here on Village Television. But before we get to that, give me just a brief background of what brought you to your show.
Okay, well, I was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was 38. And I changed my whole outlook. I decided I had to do something new in my life. And so and I'd always been a writer. And I started writing technology articles for MSN. And that got so stressful. And I looked out the window, I said, this is crazy. I can't do this anymore. It's too much stress. So what else can I do? And I thought, well, let's try entertainment writing. And so that just dominoed into where I am now. I built this amazing career from just looking out the window thinking, okay, you got to do something that's just enlightening and happy and fun. Wow. So I turned to entertainment writing, and I asked a friend of mine who was the entertainment correspondent for one of the networks here in California, and he got me on my way.
Isn't that great? I mean, it's so fortunate that you were involved already and had a connection, because sometimes that is a really tough business to get into.
It is. Actually, he didn't really do anything for me. I mean, I had only talked to him a couple times, but I just said, how does one get started? And he said, well, this is what you do and have at it. And I just took it from there, and I started calling the networks and the studios, and here I am.
Excellent. Well, you were very persistent. And so you've had, like you said, a very long career in that. And, Beyond the Red Carpet is kind of an extension of that, I'm assuming. I've watched your show a couple different times, and you've interviewed a lot of really great people. Most recently, we aired on this day, Mike Rowe. Love him. I've loved all of his shows. He's such a great guy. And that was a really nice interview. So Mike Rowe is just kind of the latest one that we saw. Tell me a handful of people that you've interviewed that were your favorites.
Oh, well, I love Jay Osmond. He and I have been friends for a long time. He's one of the original Osmond brothers. Mm-hmm. And he just retired from entertaining, but he has some new projects. He's got a theatrical play coming out based on the lives of the Osmond brothers. Mm-hmm. So Jay is running now, and Brennan Elliott is a good friend of mine. He's a Hallmark Channel actor. He actually was the very first guest on my show 3 years ago, whenever. He came back because he's just got 2 new Hallmark Channel movies coming up.
Okay.
And I had interviewed from Toronto. They're on set, the cast of Murdoch Mysteries. They just filmed their 14th season. Uh-huh. And it was a coup to get them, and they were all in costume, and it was kind of fun. With Zoom, I'm able to do a lot more.
Yes.
I have a lot of A-list friends, not friends, but acquaintances that I've met through the 20 some odd years. They wouldn't mind doing the show, but driving down to Orange County to get in the studio is just not worth their time, because they're a lot of them are on location. Mm-hmm. Zoom has afforded me many opportunities that I never would have gotten prior.
Oh yeah, and I think we're all in the same boat with that. And I want to say, gosh, where has it been all these years? You think it would have been here a couple years ago before the pandemic, but obviously it just shot to popularity so quickly. And yes. I even think that we're going to continue to use it for this day, primarily for our doctors, because like you said, it takes a lot of time to come to the studio. So my doctors can go to their office, and then they can do the Zoom, and they go right back to surgery or whatever it was that they came from, because it's only going to take 15, 20 minutes as opposed to 2 hours to drive or wherever they're coming from. So yeah, that's kind of nice. So that's awesome that you were able to utilize Zoom for all those different things. Now, I think you know, in your day, you interviewed a lot of A-listers.
Yes.
Tell me a couple of those.
Uh, James Garner is probably my number one.
Uh-huh.
I just adore that man. Julie Andrews has been,
Oh,
I've done her several times. She is a charming, charming
I
woman.
bet.
Oh, I just adore her. There are a few that I don't like. The thing that we learn is it's sometimes not a good idea to interview someone you not idolize, but you admire.
Hmm.
You admire them as a character. You admire them on screen. Off screen, everybody's a totally different person. And
Uh,
sometimes they will disappoint you. And I have been in that situation when they have disappointed me. I'll come home from sitting down with somebody and I'll just be so upset. And I think, this person, I love their acting, but as a person, I don't like them.
you know, that's funny that you say that because there were many times that my folks would say, "Oh, well, we don't like the choices that they make outside of them acting. We're never going to watch one of their movies again."
That's what's happening now with politics.
Yeah.
It's so unreal. I mean, I think that Dina Martin, the son of the daughter of Dean Martin, called me a couple weeks ago, and we were talking, and she's going to be on my show eventually. She's
Okay.
a sweetheart. But I got to thinking, you know, her father and the Rat Pack, they did all this publicity and songs for John Kennedy.
Mhm.
The opponents of John Kennedy did not stop listening to them because they campaigned for him. It was a different world. It was a more civil world.
Mhm.
And now people are stop going to movies because so and so, you know, was campaigning or was for somebody else that they don't like. And I just think that is so wrong. I just think that is so wrong.
It is, and it is like you said, we're in a tough situation right now, and hopefully things will get better. We don't really know quite yet, but you know, to be civil and to be kind and not let a lot of this stuff get in the way of you know, I mean, you and I, we have to be the way we are probably all the time because
Yes.
you know, people recognize you and they know you in the community and they go, "Oh yeah, I remember seeing you on that show." And you have to be nice and you want to be nice because you want people to love what you do.
Yes, you know, there have been a few people in my career that I have refused to give coverage to,
Mm.
simply because who they are in their personal life and what they have done and the disgrace that they have brought upon their families. I'm not going to mention names, but
Sure.
there are about two people that I refuse to give any press to. They get it anyway, and I don't have to be the one to do it. I do have my standards, but um, I do try and judge people on their performance, not their personal beliefs.
Right, right. Because, you know, when you are interviewing them, you are primarily interviewing them about what project they are working on rather than their personal life. So, because
Yes.
you and I aren't those kinds of interview people, you know, I really don't want to know what you've been doing off camera. Thank you
Yeah,
very
you
much.
know, it's sometimes better not to know. It
Yeah,
is. But you know,
absolutely.
besides the TV and the movie actors, I have a lot of colleagues that have come onto my show, and some that are coming on that have had interesting stories about their careers.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be the only ones imparting all the things for me. A lot of it's in my book, but I have a friend, Ivor Davis, who was embedded with the Beatles when they first came to the U.S., and he was also embedded with the RFK campaign in 1968. He was there, and he heard the shots. He was there when RFK was shot. Yes. And so he's had a front row seat to history, and he's come on a couple times, and he's got some amazing stories to tell about his career and what he's covered and the things he's seen.
Yeah.
So I think that the show is pretty interesting. As far as, you know, sometimes you get people that a lot of the fans or the viewers are not that interested in, but we just wait. Next month we'll have somebody else.
Well, you know, it just depends. I mean, we can't please everybody, but you try to find whatever your person is, whatever your subject matter is, something that is interesting. And, you know, you will find, I'm sure you have already found a great following here. You know, you wanted to talk a little bit about kind of this year for 2021, and we will certainly still be utilizing Zoom.
Mhm.
Who do you have on your checklist to see if you can get him on the show?
Well, number one, Dina Martin. Like I said, she did call me on the phone a couple weeks ago, and she is very keen on doing the show. Other Hallmark Channel actors that I have been attempting to get through the years, but they just do not want to take the time to come down. Barbara Niven, she's a big animal rights activist, but she's also does a lot of Hallmark movies. And she said, you know, I'm away so often that when I'm home, I want to spend the time with my family, and driving down from LA to Orange County is hard. So I have a feeling she'll be able to come on. Let's see, who else do we have? Oh my goodness. I have some of my colleagues who have some really funny stories to tell.
Excellent. Excellent.
And let's see, I'm trying to get possibly, I like second generation people. Lucy Arnaz, Lucille Ball's daughter, and Desi Arnaz. I've been in contact with her publicist. And she lives a little far away to just coming for that. But I think she might be willing to do that this year.
Well, that will be good. I mean, if you can get them in the studio, that would be great. But otherwise, you can always utilize Zoom. That would be
well.
Great.
That's the thing. I think if I approach these people with these publicists with the Zoom, they're more apt to say yes, and I'm more apt to get more people that way, which I don't mind doing. I prefer to be one-on-one, sitting down across the couch from somebody, but. Right. You know, it is what it is. We have to take what we can get, and they're more comfortable in their own home anyway.
Exactly. Hey, so I want to ask you, what's your pitch? So when you have a publicist online, what's your pitch for our community?
Well, you know, this is a big retirement community, and besides that, everything goes on YouTube, and YouTube is worldwide. So there's that, the wider audience. It's just that I pitched that the people are interested in learning about all these people and their careers and what they're doing now, and you know how they feel about things these days. And I think the fact that besides being in the village with this big senior community, retired community, the fact that we also can go on YouTube and everybody around, I mean, all the actors that have been on put it on their YouTube sites. And so it does kind of spiral down, and more people get aware of Laguna Woods Village this way.
Oh, that's true too. That's awesome. All right. Well, Francine, thank you so much. It was very nice to learn more about you and also your show, Beyond the Red Carpet. So to have a great day, and thank you again.
Thank you, and thank you all to the This Day viewers. Appreciate it.
And we'll be right back after this.